Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, let's start now. Hello and welcome to Cricketomania. This cricket test match or test series in England, when someone says how's that, that's all it's going to be. There is no decision review system that's going to be working, unlike other test matches or matches, and the umpire's word will be final. The question we are asking today is this something that's going to work? And with me, my co-anchor Ayaz Memon. Also joining us is test cricketer Chauhan, and we are trying to understand whether the DRS or the decision review system is something that should be there or not, and if not or if so, why so? Ayaz?
So Govindraj, it's an interesting question. It's come up again. You know, this is being discussed because on the second day of the first test match, we saw Murali Vijay, the Indian opening batsman, get out leg before wicket, and replay showed that he was clearly not out. Now, because the Indian board has not agreed to the decision review system,
it's boomeranged on them,
but sometimes it's not boomeranged on them. The problem is not about the boomeranging or not. The problem, according to me, is the decision review system is followed by certain countries and not followed by other countries. So it's like saying, if you play tennis at Wimbledon, you'll use Hawkeye, but if you're playing the Australian Open or French Open, you won't use it.
Right.
Or Nadal and Federer will use it, but Murray and Djokovic won't use it.
Yeah.
You know, then it becomes incongruous and absurd.
Yeah.
My point is, and I am happy that we've got Chetan here because he's played in an era when, you know, umpires were
kings.
Kings. They were paramount. You never even thought of, you know, questioning the umpire. The point is that you're using technology. If it is being used for certain matches, and if you don't use it for certain matches, then there is an imbalance which is created, and I don't think it is fair finally. So either we say we will not use it in any match till everybody is happy about the technology. The problem is the Indian Cricket Board is not convinced about the technology, and there is good reason for that. There have been some flaws which have been shown up in Hawkeye and some of the others.
Are you talking about the 2011 match or the Ian Bell?
Yes, that and several other times. You know, several other times it has happened that the technology has been shown up. But let it be a level playing field.
Right. So Chetan, let's get your views here. What's your sense on this whole decision review system approach? And in your mind, should it be there or not be there?
See, I am of the firm believer that the technology is improving every day, and science is improving every day, and in every field we use the latest technology. So if a technology is available to us, even in cricket and also in the reviewing our decisions, why not use it? Because what I feel is there is so much at stake at the moment. I am not talking about money alone. But we are talking about, as a cricketer, I am talking about as career of people, whether it is a bowler or a batsman. A batsman gets a bad decision, and if the whole world knows that the person is not out, but still he is given out and umpire's decision is final. If there is no review system, well, he loses out on performance, and maybe, if it's a crucial inning, maybe he loses out in his career, or maybe he gets dropped from the side. So what I believe is, if the technology is available, the DRS is available, we should use it. Well, there may be an argument that it is about 96% correct or whatever, but a 96, according to me, is very good percentage. So if 96% or 95% is available, we should use it. We should continuously use it.
Right. So, do you feel, Chetan, that in this case, the only problem that DRS is not being used consistently is because India is the one which is obviously objecting to it. Other countries are quite comfortable.
I really don't know what is the reasoning behind, and what is the logic behind. Because if the DRS is available, it is going to be the same for the home team as well as for the tourists. See, it'll be the same for India as well as the any other country against whom we are playing, whether at home or outside.
Right.
Maybe the cost involved is slightly more. That's what I'm been told, that the cost involved of using the DRS is exorbitant. But then, when we are playing with crores of rupees, you see, and thousands and thousands of dollars, right, which is at stake, and cricket becoming commercial completely, I think we should just use the technology. That's what I think.
So, going just to put it in perspective, I think what Chetan says is right. The one part of the problem is the high cost of that technology. So, if you've got India versus England, both boards are rich enough to have the technology in place, or Australia versus England. But suppose you have a test match involving Zimbabwe versus Bangladesh, or Pakistan versus Sri Lanka, and both boards are not rich. So what happens? And the argument is that they cannot afford it, so they will not use it, and then they be a back
But
to
has
square
that
A.
happened already?
So it has happened.
Okay.
They both decided not to use technology because they just cannot afford it. So I feel, and this has become very important now. Why I think this issue is even more important now currently is because the BCCI chief N. Srinivasan is now the chairman of the ICC. The ICC, therefore, as as a body which kind of controls the sport, should be seen to be even-handed, and the BCCI may have objected, but Srinivasan as chairman of the ICC needs to take a far broader and a more holistic view. Where the cost implications are concerned, as we all know, in every facet of life, technology becomes cheaper as we go along.
So I think greater use will lead to
greater use will lead to it, until such time it is the ICC should use its muscle to raise sponsorship, like they've done for neutral umpires. Neutral umpires are paid a salary by the ICC. The umpires are drawn from various cricketing countries and asked to officiate anywhere in the world. Obviously, the technology is, I think it costs about $60,000 a day now.
Right. Wow. Okay. So, Chetan, let me ask you a question which is a little more on merit, right? You said that you argued that technology is available, technology is creeping into our lives in every facet. If so, in cricket, and it can enhance a certain decision-making process, in this case umpiring, then why not? But let me ask you something more fundamental. Is there a sense that umpiring itself is not living up to its reputation?
Well, see, I think the ICC, the respective cricket boards, I think they are doing a lot of work. They have got the umpires, and then they have a umpire coach also, and all the decisions which are given by the umpires during the day, they are all reviewed at the end of the day, and also all the recordings of the games, they are all sent back to the respective boards and also sent back to the ICC for reviewing the performance of the umpire. But then, when an umpire has a bad day, well, he has a bad day. See, I don't say that the umpires make mistakes, by genuine, deliberately. It is just those, things happen. It just happens. So, I think this technology is available. We should. As far as the cost is concerned, I agree with you that when you're playing weaker teams, playing weaker teams, well, the cost may, some of the boards may not be able to afford the cost of the technology. But then let the ICC come in the middle. Let the ICC come in the middle, and just as we were discussing, the neutral umpires. You see that also brings in a lot of cost. So we never thought of neutral umpires, and it went on for a long time that people like Imran Khan or people like me also, we were always propagating that there should be neutral umpires, and they have now come. They have become part and parcel of the game now. So similarly here also. As it is, it's not is that we are not using the technology. We have the third umpire who is sitting around, right. In the room outside the ground, and in case of doubt, his services are definitely utilized. So similarly, I think DRS should be definitely considered. I agree that yes, Mr. Srinivasan is slightly apprehensive about the use of DRS, but now that he has become the president of the ICC, I think about time that we think about it, rethink about it, and maybe discuss with the various boards who are the members of the ICC. Again, rethink about it, and maybe
okay, let me ask you another sort of question on merit. If you were to look at 10 of your decisions which went against you in your test career, how many would you feel that went against you because of, let's say, I mean, umpiring, which was perhaps not the best or not the most accurate?
Well, I would say I did receive a few rough decisions myself, and I remember in my entire career, about 40 test matches I played for India, I just got benefit of doubt. I got only one, I remember, in Australia. But a lot of decisions went against me, and I'm sure, the famous episode of, the famous walkout in 1980-81, if you remember.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you that with Sunil Gavaskar.
Yeah, with Sunil Gavaskar. I thought he had hit the ball. He had hit the ball.
Yeah.
Of Dennis Lilly's bowling, and if there was a DRS, I'm sure this kind of controversy would not have cropped up. See, so I think I firmly believe now that this latest technology is available, which is about 95, 96% correct. So I think we should rethink about it and maybe discuss it thoroughly more with the members of the ICC, and try and implement it.
Right. So. Ayaz, the man with 40 test matches, 59 opening stands with Gavaskar, says that he feels in many cases he would have benefited had a DRS been there. Do all players feel similarly?
I mean, look, player psychology might be that, when you're out, you feel that maybe you are not out. But that's not the point. I think the point he is making is that, and this is a classic case he's given. I was going to ask him about it because he was at the other end when Sunil Gavaskar was given out to Dennis Lilly.
Yeah.
And, obviously, it's not because he obviously protested against the decision. He made a gesture that he's not out. And Lilly hurled abuses at him, which kind of made Gavaskar lose his cool. He almost walked off. He almost conceded the match.
Right.
It was Chetan, Chauhan, and I think Brigadier Durrani who was there who pulled them back, the manager, from stepping beyond the boundary line. Otherwise, the match was gone.
Okay.
But imagine two cases. We've got Murali Vijay out for 146. He was actually leading into the series playing for his test career, place in the test team. Suppose this decision had to come to him when he was 12, 16, 18 runs. As Chetan mentioned, it's not about the money. It's about you might lose your livelihood, your future, your place in the team. And that becomes unfair. The other point is, suppose the decision had to come when India were close to a win.
But
or a
I ask
defeat.
my only question on this is, and maybe to both of you, is that the premise for this is that most umpiring therefore is on balance off the mark?
No. Just to give you a little, very quickly, a snapshot. Earlier, umpires were the final authority. Then it was found when sport became very competitive, and people said no. If England goes to Australia and is playing with Australian umpires officiating, there is the chance of home country bias, or India versus Pakistan.
Sure.
And to Imran Khan's eternal credit, he fought for neutral umpires to come in. So they said, let's remove this aspect of home bias. Now the home bias has gone, but human error has come in.
Okay.
And because the stakes are so high, winning or losing means so much in terms of national prestige, personal pride, and the money, that they said, let's eliminate human error as much as possible.
Right. So
technology has also made it more entertaining.
Right. Exactly. So Cheta, let me come to this. I mean, I know you touched upon the money aspect, and to me, it would seem that money is a critical thing, right? If we're talking about players' careers as in careers equals also the income that they will earn. The
livelihood is the right
livelihood word. Is the right word. Okay. So is that? But I mean, and there's of course India's own role in the ICC, and 2/3 of India contributing to 2/3 of cricketing income, global cricketing income, with the clout it has. So is money the key thing that's driving all of this, regardless of the merit of technology doing its job?
I don't completely agree with money. We talk about not only money, we are talking about career. You see, today cricket is a profession now. Everybody who's playing cricket, whether India or outside India, they are all professionals. Their livelihood depends on on cricket. See, they go on playing international cricket. Well, not only they are they're going on with their careers, but at the same time the money comes. You see, because it's a profession, it's like a job. They're getting salaries. And this salary, of course, will be much more if they are playing international cricket. But if they're not playing international cricket, well, these salaries will come down. So not only it's money, but at the same time, it is a profession also. So both the things are involved. One more thing which I would like to add here, I give you example of, I don't mean to be rude, to anybody, but 2007, 2008, the cricket series in Australia, India versus Australia, I remember I was the manager of the Indian side. And in Sydney, in 2007, Sydney Test match, there were nearly 11 to 12 decisions which went against India. Had the DRS been there, I'm sure we would have won that Test match. Not to leave aside money part, we are talking about honor of the country. We are talking about the prestige of the country, and the series would have been different. Instead of India losing 1-0, we would have won that series 2-1. See, so the entire one or two decisions can completely affect the nature of the game, and also can affect the result of the not only the one Test match or one inning, but of the entire series. So because of that, I would say the technology is available.
And you're saying that if from your own test experience, in your feeling, I mean, we're obviously assuming that you're being objective here. In your feeling, it's only on one occasion perhaps you got the benefit of doubt, and on more occasions you've not got the benefit of doubt, or it's worked against you. A poor decision.
Yeah. I would say, see, leave aside person. Let's see, leave Cheta and Chauhan out. What we are talking about is to get correct decisions. You see, that is what we are talking about. The correct decisions. Whether it is, if a wrong is done by the umpire, because we have to understand the mentality and the situation of the umpire. He gets fraction of a second. He creates a sort of what do you call it? A video sort of a thing inside his brain, and then he takes a decision. See, he thinks and he takes a decision. So that split of a second, he can go wrong. See, and this technology which is there, if the decision can be corrected, I think why not go for it? That is what is my view.
Right. So what's that looking? I mean,
Yeah, so
this series is going to go without DRS, obviously.
Yes, because the BCCI has not agreed. BCCI says you get the technology improved to an extent where there is no scope for error, which means it's going to be very difficult to have 100% error-free.
But we could separate it like between leg before wickets and non-leg before wicket.
We've tried that once when we said everything except leg before wickets, will be reviewed or DRS will be applied. It didn't seem to work to the Indian players' satisfaction.
Okay.
And therefore, because the board is so powerful, I think they've taken a position that, do what you want, we are not agreeing. Now, my point is that your BCCI chief is actually the chairman of the ICC, who's also controlling, in a sense, or overseeing matches between England and Australia.
Yeah.
And, the advice there is, yes, go ahead with DRS, but every time India plays, no, don't go ahead with DRS. So I think, look, what technology has done, slow-mos, hotspot, sneakometer, they've also made viewership so much more delightful. But with the delight also comes these, decisions, awkward situations where the umpire has made a mistake and nothing is being done about it.
Yeah.
Football had the same problem till the last World Cup, where Hawkeye was not used, and then they found that the ball hit the top bar, the horizontal bar, lobbed inside, came out. It can happen, and it was not given as a goal. So even FIFA has accepted to Hawkeye after great reluctance. I think where technology is available and all countries are agreeable, then the pros and cons apply to all countries exactly the same way.
Right. So you're saying, okay, so as the march of technology happens, as more countries adopt it for different sports, then why not cricket?
And I think between you and me, my understanding is that a majority of the Indian players, an overwhelming majority of the Indian players actually prefer technology, because as Chetan himself said from personal experience, he feels actually he's lost out more than he has gained by the umpires.
Right. Right.
So if that's the feeling amongst the vast majority of the players, I think it makes just sense to have it all pervasive.
And Chetan, you feel that in going forward, even if there is a cost, the cost is something that will get evened out, and people should really focus on the benefit of DRS as a system to make the game more interesting and more accessible in some ways to audiences.
Yeah. See, if you go on, as was being discussed, I heard, the more the technology is going to be used, I'm sure in times to come, people will start using, they'll do more research and they will become cheaper. So, if it becomes cheaper, why not use it? And at the same time, if ICC can come in the middle, can bear the cost. Uh, I'm sure the money can be managed. It's not that the money cannot be managed. So I think this should be rethought should be given about this, and also, as I said before, let the different boards discuss this thoroughly, rethink about it, and start using it.
Right. Thank you very much, Chetan. And Ayaz, last word. Clearly, Chetan is for it, and he's a man who's been through many seasons.
Yeah.
And many. Many.
The anomaly and the
tests,
irony, Govind, is that when you go from move away from a bilateral contest to say an ICC event, like for instance the World Cup.
Yeah.
The DRS is being used there.
Yeah.
And there is no choice. All countries have to use it. It's only in the bilateral series when India is playing.
And more fundamentally, you said the point is people should get over their fears.
They have to get over their fears. They have to get rid of their compunctions.
And be ready for a new world.
They have to be ready because in any case it is being used. It's just not being used, everywhere.
Yeah.
Which to me seems actually quite silly.
Right. Ayaz, thank you so much on that note. Very interesting discussion on Cricketomania. Should a decision review system be used? The present series in England has obviously got off without it. Hopefully, if all the voices you just heard, including of Chetan, Chauhan, Ayaz, and many others come together, you will see it being used in forthcoming matches involving India, of course. Thanks so much for watching Cricketomania. We're going to be back.